Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is Friday, June 11th, 8:51 a.m. Eastern Time. So let's get over rollover real quick. So uh, if you just type the contract in your Think or Swim charts today, you're going to be now on the September contracts as the front month. The June contracts are the one that they were putting out as front month yesterday. So June is M21 and September is U21. So let's go over some differences. If you look at the price between them, it's about just under 3 points for the Russell. It's right around 10 points for the NASDAQ. It's right around 9 to 9.5 for the ES. And it's right around 105 to 113 for the Dow. So those fluctuate around a little bit. So uh, the numbers I'm going to be referencing today during my broadcast are going to be, a mixed bag. So I'll let you know when what is what. So looking at the continuous contract, right? So keep in mind that on the continuous contract, we did drop, basically 10 points on the open last night. So this plus 675 is just the difference for the current contract. So basically we're down about 2.5 points from because we're up 7 from where we closed with the new front month. So I still use these same lines because it seems I used to try to track differences and whatnot, and it really doesn't seem to matter. It seems like the price just goes back and starts reflecting these other levels almost immediately anymore, except for the Dow, which takes about a day, day and a half. So as we look at this, right, we've been flirting with this 42.30 for a while. We got a little bit of a push up yesterday, flat back down and push up, right? So really just indecision at those highs is what this is. If we look at all the contracts, these are the continuous contracts, so they have their offsets where they dropped off at the open. If we zoom in, you can see. We'll just do them one at a time here. Let's start off with the Russell. So it had like a 3 point drop on the open last night, and then you can see it's recovered that and more. It is up 11 points, so it's basically up 8 points from where it closed. So as we look at really, where we could go from here, there's still going to be some resistance right around 23.19, 23.20, up to 23.25 on the September contract is what I'll be looking at this morning. And then falling back below basically 23.04 is going to be more bearish, but I think that it's going to be difficult to make a lot of traction underneath 22.88 half. Looking at the ES again, you can see that 10 point drop on the open there, and then back up to pretty much near where we were. Right, we actually closed a little bit above this high. So as we look at it, there's really not a lot to see. I'm still looking for potentially to the upside that we could see today. Would be right around still that 45 to 50 area, so maybe another 14 15 points up. And on the downside, I think you're going to have a hard time getting under this 25 area. So below 25 things start getting a little bit weaker, but it's only modestly so. I'm not looking for anything major going on one way or the other. Looking at the NASDAQ, again, it had about a 10-point differential. It's up 12, so it's basically flat from where it went off last night. There's going to be resistance up here right around 14,000 plus or minus 12 points. So from 13,988 to 14,012, and then above there is making headway towards those all-time highs. which I think is around 64, 14,064. So it's getting close. Whether it can do it or not today, I wouldn't bank on it until you see it breaking over 14,000, 15 to 16 area. So below there on a better retracement, I wouldn't look for it to get really under 13,000, 862, 863. Looking at the Dow, and again, the Dow has that 105 to 113 point differential. You can see that drop on the open, right? That's what that is, just a contract change. So as we look at it, there's still going to be that resistance right around 34,500 up to 34,630, right around there is what I look for. Below, I really don't think you're going to get any progress below 34,215. That's where I'd step in, right around there. If we do get a flush, to see if we get a bounce from there, at least back up halfway through this zone. And ideally you'd like to see it back up to around 13,314. So that's only about an 80, 85 point trade. It might be, all you would get if you did push down there. I wouldn't expect a V reversal and much bigger of a retracement back up to there. But these markets have been strong, right? You shouldn't be, unless you have a strategic point to short, right? You shouldn't be looking for that at this point in time yet. Looking at the overnight action, 13 points in the overnight action. Looking at, basically where we close. And we're looking at the continuous June contract right now, right? So you can see really where we are. It makes it easier for comparing apples to apples. So until the June contract gets above 49.50, right, it's still below yesterday's bell high. And you can see as we, got up, had our crash back down, or retracement back down. It wasn't a crash. It was just a standard gap fill. Basically, 43 is where it struggled at the end. And if you go across the chart, that's really where the support is coming in right now. So going back into the value area below this 42, 43 is really going to lead you to another gap fill and potentially to value area low, and then we'll see if we stop there or if we make a retracement back towards yesterday's low. That's what I'd be watching for that one. And then looking at the Russell, there were some single prints on the Russell on the June contract from 23.20 half to 23.22.10. That's really the first, line in the sand that I'll be looking for. So it's potentially right at resistance right now, and we'll see if it can, pierce through. It could potentially, pass over that resistance, open above it, and, get going. But on a day like today, I'd expect it, if it does, just to flirt and wash across that zone, trying to make up its mind which way it's going. Looking at the NASDAQ on the profile, and we're looking at all on this grid, we're looking at all June contract numbers now. So just right at value area high, above value area high, above yesterday's bell high, above value area high, but under the bell high from yesterday, and for the Dow inside of value. So just traipsing along in here. I'm really going to pay attention to the overnight value areas today and see if we get any churn. If you get, everything but the Russell doing one thing. Yesterday we had the Russell and the Dow being weak. The NASDAQ was stronger, right, and led the ES up. So we'll see what happens today, but I'm going to be paying more attention to the overnight value area zones. When I do release those overnight value area zones today, just as a heads up, will be you'll have June on top and September on the bottom. So I'll be watching September on the bottom for those overnight value areas. I hope this helps. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you on Monday.